are making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, got to get dealt with.
10-5, and he streaks in. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5 to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys rock and roll their way into Cleveland, Ohio, and leave with a Week 1 win, 33-17, the final score from Huntington Bank Stadium, as we welcome you to Cowboys Game Night. He's Barry Church, former Cowboys safety, ready to break down what just happened in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. It was an all-around game for the Cowboys. Defense, special teams, and the offense did what they needed to do as well on the heels of Dak Prescott's record-breaking deal, but all around a great day for Week 1.
You said it, Kyle. This team balled out in all three phases for the game. Cowboys had a great victory this afternoon.
Let's take a look at how it unfolded, starting off with, of course, Dak Prescott, now the highest-paid NFL player in history. 4 years, $240 million. He'll go up against Myles Garrett and company as Cleveland started the scoring first, 3-0. Dallas found their rhythm in the second offensive drive. Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb, the $376 million connection goes for 34 yards. CeeDee has some words to share. 3 plays later, Dak finds the Archer for 6. 21 yards out, he lofts it up for Brandon Cooks.
This was great anticipation by Dak Prescott. Blitz in his face, drops a dime into the bread, passing to Cooks. Great touchdown for the Cowboys.
He had 8 touchdowns last year, but didn't have one till Week 6. He has one in Week 1 here. So does a sack for Micah Parsons. First sack of the year for the Lion. Takes down Deshaun Watson. He wasn't done just yet. Into the second quarter we go. Dallas driving 10 plays, 73 yards, but it was the 11th play for Ezekiel Elliott as he punches it in. Welcome home, Zeke. Next drive, Brandon Aubrey. He gets his first shot from 57 yards. No problem. It would have been good from 65. Maybe a bit of foreshadowing there. Now the Browns were trying to find their passing game on offense. Instead, they found more Micah Parsons. He tips the pass in the air. Eric Kendricks is there. And again, Micah Parsons, just a game wrecker on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's just not a pass rush specialist right here. He's a defensive back as well. You love to see it. Get your hands in the air, tip the ball into the air. Tips and overthrows, you got to get those. Kendricks right on the spot right there. Johnny on the spot, the quarterback of the defense. You love to see it for the Cowboys.
Micah's early candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year off to a great start. Now, I said foreshadowing. How about a 66-yard attempt for Brandon Aubrey? He absolutely drills it. He would have tied the NFL record of Justin Tucker's, but hold on. A delay of game penalty brings it back 5 more yards. Mike McCarthy, John Fossil can't believe it. Apparently, the officials did not reset the play clock. Dallas up 20-3 at the half. A tough break for special teams, but they would get it back. Next time special teams is on the field, how about Cavante Turpin directing traffic? Turpy, speed's going to take it to the house. His first ever return touchdown in a regular season game. It's about time.
Yeah, this is high treason for Cleveland's punter right here. You punt it in the middle of the field. It leaves a wide open field for Cavante Turpin to use his speed. He has the escort going into the end zone, and you love to see him tiptoeing into the end zone.
Dallas keeps their foot on the gas with a couple more field goals late in the game. Deshaun Watson is pressured, a tip pass again. This time it's Trayvon Diggs on the receiving end.
Oh, you love to see it. His first interception back from his ACL, tipped in the air. Like I said earlier, tips and overthrows, you got to get those. But it seems like Diggs is always Johnny on the spot. You love to see it. Great cradle, great catch right there. Another great turnover for the Dallas Cowboys defense.
What a story for Diggs to get an interception on his return from injury. The Cowboys get the win in Week 1 in Cleveland. They win it 33-17. When we come back, Barry Church is going to take us to the film room. We're going to break down how this one unfolded, starting with the 21-yard touchdown pitch and catch from Dak Prescott to Brandon Cooks.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
One of the benefits of having a great former safety on your television crew is going and breaking down how this one unfolded. Let's get to it. Dak Prescott finds Brandon Cooks 21 yards out for the first touchdown of the year. How did this one unfold?
Well, first of all, Dak Prescott sees that this defense is in zero coverage. And what I mean by zero coverage is these defensive players right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all coming after Dak Prescott. That leaves one guy unaccounted for. And in this circumstance, it's going to be number 58, the Hicks linebacker right there, who's going to be the unaccounted for guy blitzing after Dak Prescott. And if I can see that, I know he can see that as well. One more indicator is that all of these defensive backs right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you see the guy on the outside, 5 right there, are all inside and off, meaning they expect that ball to come out extremely fast. So Dak Prescott sees that. I see that as well. They're in zero coverage. Let's see how it works out, Kyle. Let's play that for me real quick. All these guys are in zero coverage, and let's pause it right here. If you look at this right here, all these guys are looking on the inside. All right, they're all looking at the quarterback right here because they're expecting the ball to come out fast. But once that ball does not come out fast like that, you got to get your eyes back on your luggage. Let's go ahead and press play for me right there. Pause it right there. Once again, this safety's eyes, who's man-to-man on Cooks right here, he's looking at Dak Prescott right here. You cannot do that as a defensive back because your eyes need to be on your luggage. You're in man-to-man, zero help. That means you have no one out there to help you. You're on the inside leverage, but you got to be able to have your eyes on your luggage. If we let the play ride, Dak Prescott does an amazing job of dropping the ball with anticipation right into the bucket, right into a spot where Cooks is going to be at. Let's rewind that for me a little bit right here. At the beginning of this play, he sees the unblocked man right there, Hicks coming straight for him. All right, when we get back, when we let the play ride for a little bit there, Kyle, can you press play for me for a little bit right there? Once he sees, pause it right there, he sees that Cook's back is to him. All right, so he's playing with anticipation right now. He's trying to drop that ball right into this zone right here where he expects Cook to be at right on time. The anticipation is unbelievable with a guy in your face right there. That's something that only the top tier level quarterbacks can do, and that's why he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the National Football League.
I love this still frame right here because you can just see, I mean, he's got pressure all the way in the backfield. Brandon Cooks isn't even to the stem of his route yet.
Not even there
and he's
yet.
throwing the football into that space. I love the way you broke that down, and I think it is. It looked like an easy play, but at the end of the day, it is something that Brandon Cooks and Dak Prescott have been working on.
Exactly.
Timing all the way through, and that's what got better as the year went on. Now you can see them getting into that rhythm in the early going. Great job bouncing around and looking at that one from Dak Prescott. Now, when we come back, we've got a little bit to break down on the defensive side of the football. Micah Parsons was a one-man wrecking crew. How did he work his way into the backfield multiple times to make an impact in Week 1?
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Welcome back to Cowboys Game Night alongside Barry Church. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Let's take you back to the first quarter. Micah Parsons, who led the league in pressures last year, he's probably leading the league after Week 1 as well. We'll see what the official numbers look like when Monday rolls around. However, he did have a 1 sack. Let's take a look at that sack of Deshaun Watson. How did he get to the backfield?
Well, the young lion, he ate pretty much the entire afternoon against Deshaun Watson, had him running for his life the entire time. But this is the example of one of his, or the sack he had today. I want you to keep your eyes on the young lion right there. We all know who he is, Micah Parsons. But when we look at it, all 3 of these guys right here, Njoku, the offensive tackle, and the offensive guard, are all at one point going to have eyes on this man because they understand what type of threat this guy possesses on defensive side of the football. He's going to get after you, and you got to take care of him first. So all 3 of those guys are going to have eyes on him once this play starts. Let's run it a little bit here. And as we see the great get off by Micah Parsons, and then let's pause it right about, let's go a little bit more, and pause it right there. As you see, you got eyes on this offensive tackle and this guard have eyes on Micah Parsons, even though they're in the midst of a block right there. And he did a great job, Golston, right there, of splitting that double team and creating a lane for Micah Parsons to get through. But also, this is why rush and cover work together. If you look in the secondary, this guy right here, Kendricks, is matched up with Ford. He has him locked down. You see Diggs up top having his matchup locked down. You see Jay Lou in the slot having his matchup locked down. And then once again, Hooker coming down from the safety spot, locking down Njoku right there. You may say, man, there's a little bit of distance right there, but it's 3rd and 10. He catches that ball. Hooker's one of the best tacklers in the National Football League. He's going to wrap him up. So that's why rush and cover work together. There's nowhere to go, and that gives Micah Parsons, as we play here, let's pause it right there. You see the back and forth he did right there with this offensive guard and this offensive tackle, all right? They can't hang with this guy. He's too athletic. He's too agile. He has a motor like none other. He's going to squeak his way through here and eventually wrap up Deshaun Watson for a great sack, a much-needed sack on a 3rd down. But as you see right there, the motor just keeps going, does a great job. Pause it right there for me. You love to see it right here. D-Law, one of the captains of this defense, putting a little extra sugar there down on Deshaun Watson. You love to see it because quarterbacks hate that. You can't hit him in this league anyways. So anytime you get an opportunity to put a little lick on a quarterback, you got to go for it. And I expect none less from D-Law, but great sack from Micah Parsons.
Let's take a look at this from another level, too, because I think this look is very much so an opportunity to see just how quickly Micah gets in the backfield. And we're going to play this out. This is still in slow-mo based off of what he did. I mean, he jukes out 3 different Browns players in one opportunity. One chance here. I mean, how much, even with the chip from Njoku.
Yeah, and that's not a small guy that is chipping him right there. Not at all.
But, I mean, how much of a mismatch is this whenever you can do something like that defensively?
It's an extreme mismatch because even though Micah Parsons is slightly undersized when you got to talk about the defensive end position, he's a guy with an unbelievable motor. Most guys that are high picks like that, if they don't have a clear-cut sack right there, they're just going to sit on the block. Not Micah Parsons. You got one guy chipping you, Njoku, right here. You got another offensive tackle coming off on you, making sure that you're not supposed to get to the quarterback because he has his friend on the inside that's trying to help him as well, stop you from getting to the quarterback. But Micah Parsons does an unbelievable job with his motor, finds a way to get to the quarterback, and then he has his partner in crime, D-Law, over there to put some sugar on Watson as well.
And, of course, like I said, that wasn't the only time Micah Parsons was in the backfield. Here's another opportunity to see the young Lion eat, forcing that interception against into the hands of Eric Kendricks. This is just pure speed and eyes from Micah, the reaction ability here. What did he do right in order to tip this pass and allow for Kendricks to be successful?
See, this is the point what makes Micah Parsons special, because most defensive coordinators, they would tell you, if you have a free lane to the quarterback, don't just leave your feet like that, because usually quarterbacks are going to pump fake you and then go around the outside and create some plays. But Micah Parsons, being the freak athlete that he is, saw that the quarterback was getting ready to throw the pass, got up in the air, tipped the pass up in the air. And you know what they say, tips and overthrows.
Got to get those.
Kendrick is right there with Johnny on the spot with the interception. It's about all you can do when you're a defensive tackle or defensive end. Not just getting after the quarterback, sacking him, not just stopping the run for a TFL, but getting in the air, causing turnovers to help your offense, help your team overall. This was a great play by Micah Parsons as he was able to tip the ball in the air for Kendricks.
It's so impressive just what he does on a game day level. I mean, this one is more so just reactionary and his athletic ability to stop on a dime,
exactly,
elevate, get a hand on the football, and then a great job by Eric Kendricks and company just to be in the right place at the right time. Can't wait to see more of this as the season goes along. So when we come back, we've got a little bit more to break down. How about the punt return from Turpin? What went right for KT to get his first return touchdown in the regular season?
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Back here on Cowboys game night, it had been a long time since we have seen Turpin in the end zone. Yes, he's an all-pro returner. Yes, he is such a weapon for that special teams unit, but at the end of the day, his only touchdowns were in the same game, in a preseason game, week 2 of the preseason in 2022 against the Los Angeles Chargers. But he finally found the end zone today on a punt return. Of course, Cleveland was already backed up. They were punting out of their own end zone. There really wasn't a whole lot of space there. So Turpin standing at his own 40. We've talked a lot about the kick return rules and how that could help out Turpin, the new dynamic kickoff in the NFL. He said, I don't care about any dynamic kickoff. He said, I'm dynamic on my own right. Let's see how this one unfolded from the jump from Cavante Turpin in order to get to the house and finally secure his first ever touchdown.
Yes, indeed. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about here is the punt by the punter right there. Right here, as soon as the Cavante Turpin catches, let's pause right there. This is what we call high treason when you're talking about the special teams cover unit. There's always a direction. You either want to be on the right side of the football field or the left side. That way it cuts the field down in thirds. If it's on this side, all you have to do is cover from the hash over. If it's on the bottom side, you cover from this hash over to the sideline. But when you kick it in the middle of the field, a guy like Cavante Turpin with his speed has this whole thing to mess with right here, all that field. And you do not want to do that as a punter. But they were able to do that in Cleveland, punting it right to one of the most dangerous return men in the National Football League. As we see right here, a great block by Godwin at the beginning right here. And what I love about it, let's pause it right here. Everybody is on their man in the proper positions. You don't see any holding, you don't see any blocks in the back, and you got an envoy going forward right there to get you to that next level. That's what you love to see from your return unit. Discipline to not get flagged, but also making sure you have that envoy for your returner to go. As we play this play out a little bit more, you see the envoy going. You see Mukuamu getting there, trying to cut off a block right there. You see Bell as well trying to get in front of there and create that lane for Cavante Turpin to take it up the sidelines. That's what you love to see from your special teams unit right there. Mukuamu pushing him past, making sure that these runners don't go in front of him, they come from behind him. And you're not catching a guy like Cavante Turpin from behind. Even Deuce, number 42, shout out to the 42 club. You see him right there trying to cut off these runners to make sure that they do not get their hands onto Cavante Turpin. Once again, the envoy right here in perfect position. No blocking in the back, no sitting there holding, no grabbing, no clipping, none of that whatsoever. A clean, precise return. You love to see it from your special teams unit.
That's so fun to watch. I got one more thing for you. One, Israel Mukuamu needs a ton of credit. I mean, he took on multiple guys
yes, he did.
in this, but he almost had, or not Mukuamu, but Bell. How was he able to stay to the side of his defender here? Because this very easily could have been a hold from Marquise Bell if he's in the wrong spot.
Well, what he did right there is he didn't extend. You see, usually when guys want to hold and grab and hold, they're extending with that forearm, reaching it over there, and you get the grab. You get the hold from the jersey. If we can play this in slow motion just a little bit, you'll see how Bell usually uses his hand fighting to get back in front of or back on the side of the defender right there. Hand fighting right here. As you see the hand fighting right here on display as we play it out right about here. You'll see the hand fighting going on right there. It's not a lot of reaching and grabbing at the jersey. It's tugging at the arm. It's pulling, this hand fighting, and the referees will allow that to happen. It's when you get overextended. When you go out there reaching, that's when they throw the flag. That's when they call the holding penalties. That's a great job by a group from John Fossil.
What an exciting moment.
It was super exciting.
It's fun to see Turpin get to celebrate again. They got the graphic up.
Got the meme bug going on.
And he's ready to roll going into week 2. All right, Barry Church has been breaking it down. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up, give you some final stats, and send you into week 2.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
33-17, the final scores. The Cowboys win in week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. What a day it was at Huntington Bank Stadium. Over 300 total yards, but really it wasn't the overarching offense that you anticipated from the Cowboys, but the defense was stifling in order to get the win, holding Cleveland to 2 of 15 on third down. Back with Barry Church. When you have an opportunity to see the defense play like that, it can only get better, right? I mean, they're going to have some ups and downs, but it feels like we were just scratching the surface for Mike Zimmer.
And to me, that's the most important part about this. They switched coordinators. They went from Dan Quinn, and then they went over to Mike Zimmer this year. And usually there's a transition where you get a little bit of bumpy ups and downs when you talk about defensively, but they were able to hold this team, this vaunted Cleveland Browns offense, to 2 of 15 on third down. That's what you love to see. You always get an opportunity to win games if you can hold teams to the money down, which is third down. And they were able to hold this team to under 100 yards rushing. That's huge because we know how much this team struggled against the run last season. So you're holding this physical Cleveland team to under 100 yards. You're great on third down. You just got to continue to stack game after game under this new Zimmer regime, and I believe you'll be just fine.
And they were able to stifle some weapons like Amari Cooper,
Yes.
Jerome Ford this week, held them both in check. And I think that's a good thing moving forward, but it only gets tougher as you go along. Week 2, you're going to have Chris Olave come to town. You're having Alvin Kamara in the backfield coming to town. And then, of course, week 3, you've got the reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the Ravens. So these next couple of weeks are going to continue to test this Cowboys defense even more and more. But in week 1 and week 1 under Mike Zimmer, they passed the test. For Barry Church, I'm Kyle Yeomans. That does it for Cowboys Game Night. We will see you next week with more Cowboys coverage from DallasCowboys.com.